ultimately, like, it comes down to the script, you know. It's like, what story do these guys want to tell? How do we tell that in the best way and be true to that story, and then the characters' DNAs and their relationships within that, and try and fill it out, you know. So yeah, it was really good fun to kind of explore those things.
Which other character does Constantine spend the most time playing?
Well, it's actually like Zatanna. Well, it's Zatanna, Batman, Deadman, and
The Demon?
Jason Blood, yeah. Richie's in it as well, which is great. And Jeremy, who played Richie on the show, did the voice.
Oh.
And when I watched it, I knew he did it, but I watched it like 2 days ago. I was like, oh man, it's cool. Like, fucking Jeremy, I love it. You know what I mean? And just seeing, like, you know, hearing us kind of like, you know, do banter. You know, that was one person in my head when I knew that he was doing it in the booth.
Yeah.
That do you know what I mean? I already had a line of reference to. But yeah, he's great, man.
There's a consistent visual palette between the live version and animation, and do you feel like it's a very darker season, is what you're seeing? Do you think it visually represents what you see the character dealing with?
I mean, you know, it's an animation, isn't it? It's like, you know, I think that I have so many different versions of him in my head in terms of the way that he looks or the way that the worlds are. You know, there's so many people have drawn him and written him over the years, and I think I only got to read about 160 of the Hellblazer comics, I think. Yeah, there's 300 of them, so I didn't feel I did my job, to be honest with you. I didn't.
500. That's good for baseball.
Yeah, but I was like, you know, I wanted to try, but what I had to do is I had to stop reading them before I went to bed.
Yeah.
Because I'd be working all day in this world, and then I'd come home, and then I'd, like, you know, read it and then go to bed, and then it was too much of that world. I needed to kind of be able to detach at some point. So I stopped reading them before I went to bed, and then when we kind of got suspended in the you know, and not picked up for the back 9, I kind of said I'm not going to read anymore, because otherwise I'll read loads, and if we don't get picked up, I'll be really disappointed.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many different people who've drawn him, and the way that they look, and it's funny. See, you know, this version, I love it. I love this version of the way that they've drawn him and the world in which they've drawn him, and I've watched a bunch of those of the animations that the DC guys have done, and I love that, and I love that world for what it is, you know.
Yeah.
The character really seems like a key component of the story, but it's definitely known for burning bridges. We're going to be seeing this one. I mean, how does he manage to work with this ensemble team?
Well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? That dynamic. I mean, look, I think that John ultimately is someone who wants to do whatever it takes for the greater good. But you know, he might just, you know, kill you or have you get you killed in the meantime. What's interesting is he has to explore or call upon people who he has done things to in the past. That's the interesting dynamic then when he comes across these characters, and you know, he's some of it's quite, he can be quite cold, man, which I really liked actually in this version, because I don't think we really saw a lot of that in the TV show. I think we were getting there to see how actually cold and he could be, but I think that there's a few moments in this where you go like, oh wow, that guy's, you know, he's a real bastard, you know? And I love that side of him, really, you know, when you see that he actually can be a real fucking bastard.
Especially you said like all the comic prep and everything.
Yeah.
When you're doing your voice by yourself and have to kind of imagine the other side of the conversation, how much after you saw the finished product matched what was in your head when you were talking to these various characters?
Oh, a lot of it, man. Yeah,
cool.
It's funny, yeah, and I think that's down to Jay and the guys as well. You know, when they're trying to, like, they'll kind of like give you a bit of the world and say, all right, at this point she's going to be like in this kind of place, and this, you know, in this kind of place emotionally, and then you see it and you're like, oh yeah, it's like we're all in the same room. It's like, you know, I only met Jason today.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm like, we work really well together, man. That's great. It's like we actually, you know, it comes across, and that's great. And I think that's down to the direction of the guys, to be honest with you, you know, and like kind of making sure that we're all at the same pitch tonally in terms of what we're doing and all that. And it really is a great skill, and it's such a fun medium, man. It is really a fun medium. Yeah, I'd like to do more.
How does it feel to be like quintessential Constantine there. You're the go-to. You had a show, Save Constantine. You get to be an Arrow, and they're bringing you on to be the first Constantine Justice League.
I mean, man, it's like I feel like, you know, when I got the role, it's such an iconic character, you know, and it was really hard to kind of like. I mean, I had so much support from David Goyer and Daniel Cerrone and everyone around me, Warner Brothers and NBC. It was great, actually. And the director, Neil Marshall, who directed the pilot, just kind of gave me that confidence to kind of go like, no, you are this fucking guy. Go for it. And like, but there's still a lot of pressure. There's so many, you know, avid fans out there that you kind of like, you want to do good right by them, but at the same time, you've got to try and be true to yourself, and otherwise you can fuck yourself up with that. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like really kind of like lucky, man, to have kind of like to have done the show in the first place, and then to have got to do an hour, and for the fans to have been so accepting of me playing him. You know, that's been the best thing of the whole experience of, you know, getting involved with, you know, John Constantine in a way. You know, and I feel like we were only scratching the surface on the television show. You know, there's
Better to watch you on the big screen with both animation and in the show?
It's what, sorry?
Better to watch it on a bigger screen, you would say? I didn't do as much animation version and live.
Yeah, sure. If you like big screens.
all the darkness that's going on.
No, I think it is. It is. I prefer to watch even a TV show on a bigger screen. I mean, I have a big projector in my house back home in London. Yeah. Well, it's not a big projector; it's pretty small, but it makes a big picture. But like, But it's cool, man, and I like kind of like watch movies on that and stuff as well, you know, and TV shows and stuff. So yeah.
When you talked about your experience recording for the film, and did you have the opportunity to record in the booth with other actors?
Yeah, I didn't know. It was just me. Although I did pass was the lovely Rosario Dawson who plays Wonder Woman in the movie for a little bit. But but it was just me in the booth by myself with the guys, and it's really good fun. Actually, they were telling me that there's this one actor who likes to, when he's working on stuff, he likes to get them to turn the lights off, and he takes most of his clothes off. And I was like, I think I'm going to try that next time. You know? Well, actually, I was like, I should have bought a trench coat. You know, like a trench coat or something. Yeah, exactly. I was going out for as many cigarettes as possible because I smoke anyway. So it's like,
I guess you'd have to do a vape pen for animation.
Oh yeah, totally, yeah. And the sounds and all this stuff.
Do you find it hard to actually go down there and walk the floor without people coming up to you?
Yeah, well, I look pretty different to what I do. A little bit. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh man. But that's cool. But no, we had a little walk through earlier on, and there were a few people who kind of recognised me, and that's always lovely as well. You know, it's like this. Yeah, it's great, man. I mean, the fans have just been great on the show. The whole Save Constantine, they're still going now. It's it's crazy. You know, it's like fucking awesome, man. You know, that makes you feel really good. And also as well, like, you know, the show got cancelled after 13 episodes for whatever reasons. But when you take on a role like that, you know, there's a lot of pressure. And if a show gets cancelled after 13 episodes, you're like, oh shit, was it me? Do you know what I mean? If you are playing Constantine in Constantine, you're like, oh fuck, you know. And for the show to be cancelled, and it kind of like, and for the fans to, you know, have loved what I did is a great thing, because you're like, thank God I fucking did it some justice and didn't, you know, it wasn't cancelled because I was shite, which was a possibility.
Were you surprised at the level of sophistication in animation now?
Yeah, definitely. It's unbelievable. Yeah, and it's actually, you know, I don't know what this is going to be rated, but it's dark, man. You know, it's like it's great, and I've started to get into that, to the whole comic book world and everything a lot more since I've done Constantine.
Would you be wanting to do more animation?
I'd love to, yeah. Cool. And I'd like to do like lots of other voices as well, because I went to drama. I basically trained for 6 years, and then I spent 3 years with the Royal Shakespeare Company. Oh wow! And like, so, you know, when we were recording, there were a few moments when I was like, oh, let me do the demon. I can do the demon as well. You know, and it's like, I'd like to do all that stuff as well, because it's just really fun. You know? Yeah, so I'd like to do that shit. Awesome. Cool.
Okay, just describe.
Seriously, we met today. Yeah, he flew in. He got here this morning, I think. Or yeah, I think he got here this morning. It was like, hey man, it was like, hey, you're Batman. It was like, hey, yeah. But it's cool. He's Irish and I'm Welsh, and it's like, you know, so we're Celts, so we get on. But yeah, it's the first time we met.
Any chance of coming back to the Berlanti universe?
I don't know, man. I mean, I've been busy. I've not heard anything from any of my agents or anything like that. But you know, I'd be up for exploring the character in you know, whatever medium, because there's so much to draw on there. You know, there's so much meat to him, and I think, you know, we only just scratched the surface with what we did. You know, for NBC, and it's always a fun place to go back to. And he's the type of character as well. You can drop him in anywhere, and I think he'd be, you know, you're like, can you imagine him meeting the Joker and him just being like, right here to the Joker, and the Joker's like, can you imagine that shit? Yeah. What would happen? It's like,
Well, the next logical step is you appear in a video game, because now you understand every facet of media.
Tell them that.
You got to pitch James the Joker idea. That's a great idea, man.
Yeah. Well, they asked me. They said, who would you be most like to see him interact with? And I was like, the Joker, because what's interesting is they're fundamentally different in the fact that, like, John is ultimately for the greater good, but he will sacrifice people, and he is an absolute bastard. So they have similarities, but the Joker's, you know. But how would John deal with the Joker? And how would I think the Joker would like John. I think the Joker would like John and be like, come on, that little bit of you that's good, fuck that, don't get rid of that, come on me. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Fun.
All right, I need to give him a break before the panel starts.
Thank you very much.
Nice.
Very good,
Have a
man.
great one,
Thank you.
guys.
Thanks, man.